Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurumedeva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Shri Gurubhyo Namo Namaha. So the point that is being made here is that throughout the day we accumulate different karma, different sanskaras, as I mentioned yesterday. So the idea is to dissolve the sanskara. Now how is that to be done? So for example, say today is the 8th of March 2022. Sachin is performing a variety of different activities throughout the whole day. We'll be having some lunch, we'll be having some dinner, maybe a snack in between. These are some food related activity. Then there's meetings with different people, online work, so many things are planned today. Okay, so it's a beautiful day, so I'm happy that it's going to progress nicely. But remember, as we mentioned yesterday, there are three types of sanskaras: Ashubh, Shubh and Divya. Divya sanskar. So all three are impressions on the mind of different types. So for example, if I watch something on Netflix with violent scenes and some kind of story with a lot of fear and agitation, or even if I watch it for 10-15 minutes, that is going to have an Ashubh sanskar inside. It is going to disturb my antakarana in the way that it is going to, my antakaran will get colored by those images, scenes, the bhav that is inside, the feeling that is inside that 10-minute scene, whatever. You know, there's like some investigation going on, somebody's getting killed, somebody's getting hurt, it's all kinds of mixture. Ye sab kya hai? That is Ashubh sanskar. It's not going to lead to mukti, it will cause more damage inside the antakaran energy system, right? It can cause damage instantaneously. Even watching one or two scenes of those types, certain stories, it can disturb the antakaran right away. So I'll tell you how powerful it is. If I have been sitting for dhyan, meditation, bhajan, bhakti, satsang, all this thing, let's say for good whole day, beautiful, no kind of ashubh sanskar, ashubh activity, something that has any kind of an agitative aspect is not there. Let's say for almost 10 hours that I am in that modality. I'm going for walks, I'm listening to some bhajans, I'm reading some material. My mind is very sattvic, very in very good quality, the shubh quality, right? Let's say after doing that for 10 hours, my life is, then some boredom comes. I say, I want some change, so I put something on this YouTube or Netflix or Hulu or something, I don't know, whatever. And some story is there, some story of some conflict is there. Take a minor conflict between two people, the facial expressions and that kind of scenario I'm watching. So then inside of me, the rajogun, the tamogun that is inside of me is becoming active and connected with that experience. So that experience then, as I go into it for a few minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, within few minutes or even within few seconds, it will wipe out my whole 10 hours of Shubh Sanskar. It will wipe it out immediately. This is the power of the Ashubh Sanskar. The Ashubh Sanskar, small amount of it can wipe out large amount of the Shubh Sanskar. Think about that. You see? And it takes increasing amounts of Shubh Sanskar to wipe out even small amounts of Ashubh sanskar. They're not on equal footing. We think they are, but they're not. The reason they're not on equal footing is because millions of lifetimes we have been trapped inside the Rajogun, Tamogun aspect of Maya. The causal body has all that stashed inside there for millions of lifetimes. So that's that. All of the bondage related sanskaras are so much embedded within us that to make any dent in them becomes very, very, very tough. That is why when we are attempting to realize the Atma, even to get to the point from Shubh to Ashubh, that transition is a very big transition. Bahut badi baat hai. It's not a small thing to get to pure Sattvagun. Wow, what a fantastic life that would be. Atma and all that is still beyond that. But just Sattvik life, a very clear, harmonious, stable, and then the joy that comes from Sattvagun. See, in Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a verse that says, Sattvam yad Brahma Darshanam. Sattvagun is a doorway into the Brahmic state. Not the Rajogun and Tamogun. Rajogun, Tamogun, Rajas and Tamas are not a doorway into the Brahmic state. They are going to bind the Jiva terribly in million ways. And most of the human beings are trapped inside Rajogun, and many are trapped in Tamogun, both these two. Only small percentage are in mostly Sattvagun, but they're there. Certain percentages there, and in each human being, we go through the cycles. Sometimes our mind is sattvic, and then it turns into rajasic. We're doing a lot of good meditation, bhajan, bhakti in the morning and all that kind of stuff. And then we have a meal in the afternoon, and then we kind of are feeling a little sleepy, and then by the time the evening comes, even if we do some arti, puja, whatever, fine. But then maybe 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, the mind turns into rajogun. It's wanting to do the rajasic kind of activity. Whatever that may be. You see, so it changes, the gunas change from sattva-gun to rajogun to tamogun, like this. And then when we go into the deep sleep state, that is tamogun. There's no experience. So deep sleep and tamogun are the same, that the tamogun is present. It's really lack of experience, or lack of any initiative, lack of wanting to do anything. People who have, let's say, severe depressive disorder, or something called dysthymic disorder in psychiatry and psychology, they're long-term depressed. They're still doing things, they're awake and all that, but they don't feel much in life. They're not motivated to do anything. So that is called tamogun. The point is that a sattvic life is a very rare life to begin with. And when we are living throughout the whole day, if we want to reach the Brahman, the Atman, what we just heard right now from the sage online, to be able to dissolve the entirety of the sanskaras into the Atma. Now, what is that? What is the procedure, the process? How do we do such a thing? Well, there's many ways of going about it. But before I tell you what they are, remember that those who are masters of spirituality, mastering their life, masters of realization, or mastery in realization, they are able to do this, what I'm going to describe to you, masterfully, immediately, directly. They can do it at pretty much any time. When activity is performed, the activity is performed, first of all, without any self-interested motive. So they are aware of that right from the beginning. The enlightened individuals are aware that any action performed, there is no ego gratification behind that. That itself is the biggest thing. Every activity that most human beings perform, there is some me, there's I want this, I want that, this, that. There's some me behind that. But when that is not present, the action is performed as correctly as possible for the sake of the beauty of the action. Now, that beauty of the action means that the action is performed for its own inherent perfection, in its own inherent beauty. And it is not performed to boost one's ego, where other people or other situations, circumstances are boosting me, the me. That Sachin should be praised, or somebody should say something good about, some me is there somewhere. Even if other people are not there, there is an ego current that I did this thing, that I did this good thing, or I did this, any action. I mean, and that's with all action. So for example, when we have lunch, when we make a lunch, so we enjoy the lunch. Okay, so we enjoy. But say, I am enjoying the lunch. I am so involved in that the sanskaras, it becomes a karma. It becomes an attachment inside. It's a karmic reaction inside. So meaning what? Oh, I love this salad so much. I'm like my desire is enhanced, is going further inside there. The pleasure is going further inside there. When that happens, and I'm not trying to deny the existence of pleasure, but when that happens, there is the creation of vasana. Creation of vasana means what? Oh, I love it so much. Immediately within the brain, within the mind, all of that recording is there inside the antakarana. And then that remains there. So then another week from now, next week from now, I say, oh, I liked it so much. okay, so I want to have it again. To some extent, as far as our normal, usual interaction with food and experience is concerned, there is a benefit in that, because that is going to keep us healthy. If we say we like something as opposed to not liking something, there is some basis behind why that is the case. So the interesting point, and this is a little deeper subject, but I want to clarify it a bit because it's very confusing to people. Sometimes it seems like, well, if you just enjoy something so deeply, then you should fight against that. No, you shouldn't be enjoying all this. Take some niyams and some rules. Well, don't put salt in your food, and don't do this, and don't enjoy. Deprive yourself. Some people take that approach, that you're so attached, then you have to deprive yourself. Okay, you can try, but that won't work also. It will only work for a short period of time, because the more you deprive yourself, the vasana will increase from inside. Because you're still wanting it. The wanting of that experience again and again and again is what the mind is feeding on. Mind is isko kehte hain man ka ahar. In Gujarati, it's written, it says manno ahar. Manno ahar means what? That the how can I say? The word ahar means enjoyment. Enjoyment of the mind. Ahar means the stimulation of the mind. So what is the stimulation of the mind? It's all worldly experience. So now remember, we're not denying worldly experience. You cannot sit in the cave and just cut yourself off. That's not going to work. So it is the mastery of selecting how much interaction with the feeling of the beauty of that interaction. So for example, if I make a nice salad at home, and I do that almost every day now. I'm eating more salads, good things. I have to decide what kind of salad should I eat, what should I eat, as opposed to eating unhealthy things. Those are viveka decisions. But now I have a salad in front of me. Now what? So I have it mixed up and I put it inside my mouth and I say, this tastes good. Immediately there's going to be a sensation. And if it's spoiled or something, I'll say, something is wrong here. So that first distinction is there between that which is spoiled and that which is not spoiled. So our brain, our mind, our senses make that distinction. We have to make that distinction. That is not vasana. That doesn't generate vasana. That is a distinction. Now, in that distinction, see what the mind does. It says, I like this. As soon as the I jumps inside there, now the me has gotten hold of that experience. Boy, this Asian salad is fantastic. It's better than that Mediterranean salad. It's better than the Caesar salad. My mind is immediately comparing all 5 different types of salads. Let's say I bought all 5 different types at home. I have an Asian one, Mediterranean one, avocado salad, Caesar salad, and something else. 5 different kinds of salads. Romaine salad, whatever. So, so I don't, this one I like more than this one. And then if I have some orange juice with that, that'll be even better experience. If I put some peanuts in, my experience will even be better. See, we are trying to maximize the sensory experience. We're trying to maximize sukha. S-U-K-H. Sukha means happiness, enjoyment, the experience of sukha. And we do not want the experience of dukkha, meaning the unhappiness, the dislikes, etc. The likes and the dislikes. I can say I like this salad number 1 more than the other 4. Now there's a comparison going on. So then the mind is now is very much quickly, rapidly active in this judgment. And in that judgment, it gets caught. And then when it gets caught that I like the Asian salad more than the Mediterranean and this one, the I like this one more than this one, although they're all healthy. They're all equally healthy. They're not spoiled. So they're all sitting in front of me. But the fact of the matter is that when the I gets involved, I like the Asian salad more, with some orange juice, with some peanuts, with some black pepper, with this. Then I said, this is better. I can make it better. I could put a couple more things. It'll get even better. Now, I may add some material for the health benefit, but see, the difference is if I'm adding material to that salad for health benefit, it's one thing. If I'm adding it to enhance my sensory experience, that is where the karma gets created. Now, here's the problem. Somebody will say, well, why shouldn't you do that? What's the problem in enhancing sensory experience? That's what life is for. If you don't enjoy this world, then what is the point? Enjoy everything to the maximum benefit. If you have a salad, make it a fantastic salad. Make it so that you really enjoy it. The me that says, yes, I got it. I want to enjoy it. What's wrong with that? Well, first of all, I don't like to use the expression right or wrong. Let's just observe what it is. When we observe what it is, we find that the I is getting more and more enraptured by that experience. This is a fact. We're not trying to judge it. Let's be choiceless about it. Choiceless awareness. We don't want to make a value judgment on this. If we want to understand Vasana, we cannot approach Vasana with preconceived ideas. This is wrong, this is right, this is good, we have to approach with openness. Otherwise, we will never get to what is actually Vasana, or even how to go even beyond that into the Atma. So, if we examine very carefully, we will see that there is an attempt to enhance the experience of eating a salad. Somebody will say, why? What's wrong? Enhance it further. Okay, so let's say I do so. Let's say Sachin says, okay, next day I'm going to take the Asian salad, or 2 days from now, and I'm going to add something else. I'm going to make it even a better one. I'm going to make the taste and everything even more to my liking. The experience is going to be even more enjoyable, right? Okay, and it is. 2 days from now, I make some modification. I put a different salad dressing, the green goddess dressing, or some Asian dressing, or some different dressing. This dressing is better than this other dressing. Okay, so I enhance. Now, third or fourth day, or maybe a week from that, I have the other, again, in my memory, there is the experience of that heightened enjoyment. Let's be clear on this point. This is very, very critical to understand. We have experience of the heightened enjoyment, then there is the memory of the experience of the heightened enjoyment. Isn't it so? So then as time goes on, when opportunity comes, circumstances come, that memory becomes active. So, it's been too long since I had that avocado salad. It's been too long. Don't we say this? We say this all the time. Even if we are making dal and khichdi, we say, it's been 2 months since I had dal and khichdi, now I have to have that. Now, is there something wrong with this? Is there any problem in this? Actually, there's no problem in that as such. Because the brain is functioning in an attempt to give new experiences or repeat old experiences for the purpose of survival and health enhancement. So when our mind is wanting some food or wanting to eat certain things, that's because there's 2 reasons. One reason is that there is the biological need for that substance. But the other reason is the me through the memories that says, I like this, I want this. You see? I like this, I want this, I enjoyed it before, and that's why I want it again. In Vachanamrut, Bhagwan Swaminarayan gave this definition of Vasana. It is in Garada number 11, first section. Garada number 11, Vachanamrut. And I'll put the quotation up on here next time probably, because we'll have to go into that next time. But he said there that whatever you have enjoyed before, purve je vishay bhogve hoy, ditha hoy, samble hoy, antakaranya vishay ichha varte ene vasana kai. This is the definition he's given. I'll explain in more detail. Things that we have experienced before, they reassert the ichha erupts. In Vachanamrut Maharaj, he beautifully explained that the ichha, the desire, ichha means, see the word ichha? Ichha means me, wanting. I want. That is called ichha. And then the Ichha Shakti is the energy within that. That is called Ichha Shakti. Ichha Shakti has many other meanings also, which some other time, I don't know when, maybe next lifetime, we'll have to get into all those things. But we have to go very carefully and slowly. So when we say that I want that experience because of the experience, there's that past experience. See, I am thrown out of the present into the vortex of the past experience, and that past experience becomes predominant, and then it takes over. It takes over the mind and the intellect. It takes over the prefrontal cortex, the higher cortical function of the brain, and the decision making of the buddhi. Samshay, Nishchay, Smriti, Nidra, 4 functions are there of the buddhi. To go and make a decision and go and do this. Because the I says, I want this experience because of the potency, the heightened pleasure, the enjoyment of that. This is true with food, it's true with sexuality, it's true with running, it's true with any heightened experience. Something that is like, wow, it's the wow experience, like this is nice, this is enjoyable. Now there are degrees of that also. There are degrees, there are levels of that enjoyment. So let's talk about that for a moment. Every type of experience has greater levels. Now, so even in Vachanamrut, Maharaj explained, Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttam Kotina Vishay. There's 3 categories. Kanishta means that they are just ordinary Vishayas. Ordinary, like if I have an ordinary salad with some lettuce and some couple of things mixed in, some mixed salad or whatever. Okay. It's like an ordinary salad. But I have like 15 items inside there with awesome dressing and all. It's like a massive bowl with massive stuff inside there. That's like a highest level, let's say, with a nice hot, bread on the side, the wheat bread on the side with a Coke, or with a whole paraphernalia, with a nice place to sit, maybe in a nice restaurant or with a high-class restaurant. The salad costs $25. It's got all kinds of stuff inside there. So the experience is much higher than the ordinary one that I might be making at home, let's say. All right. Now you see where the trouble potentially, I don't want to say trouble. I'm trying to stay away from those words. You see what happens. If I have gone to a particular restaurant with that heightened salad, and if I keep going there and I keep eating that kind of, having that experience, my mind is not going to like the ordinary experience. As such, it might, but it might not. We have to look at that ourselves. Is the ordinary experience equally enjoyable as the high quality experience? We have to ask ourselves internally, is my enjoyment based on the quality of the experience? There's no doubt that the quality of the experience is different. Somebody sitting in a Toyota Corolla versus a Lexus. The quality of the experience is obviously different. How can anybody deny that? Anybody who tries to deny that is just not seeing things clearly at all. Obviously, there's a difference in quality. Obviously. But when the individual is pursuing the higher quality experience further, that pursuit of that experience further, the repetition of that experience, the enhancement of the experience, the pursuit of that experience further, that is an indication that Vasana has been created. That is how Sachin can detect Vasana within Sachin. I have to detect it myself. It's not about seeing other people so much. Although we learn from others, we see the world outside. This is how one can directly detect, this is called Vasana. Okay, now what? Now we have some decisions to make. Do we live our life just increasing these vasanas, increasing this constant pursuit of enhancing these experiences and running after them again and again? And we can do that. People do. That's what most people are trying to do. Most people are trying to get to the point where they have the highest quality experience. And the few that do have that, whoever has it, they are trying to take it a bit further. They want something more than that. If you have one Lexus, let me have two Lexus. Let me go to the newer model, to get rid of the older one, get to the new one. No, I'm not making any value judgment on this. We're just seeing the phenomena. Okay. So there is a possibility of living this type of life. At the extreme levels of it, it is called hedonism. Hedonism means hedonic mindset is one that is pursuing sense pleasure, ego gratification, the enjoyments of Prakriti further and 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 further. And then, even as one is doing that, there's a possibility, depending on the type of experience, of causing damage to the body and the mind, like drugs, alcohol, smoking, those kinds of things. There's quite a few negative possibilities. Even if one stays away from all the negative things, one is just enhancing worldly experience. Oh, go to Hawaii one time, go to Alaska another time, go here, go here, go here, go here, go here. See this waterfall, do this, do that thing. Keep revolving. Go to different restaurants, go to different parties, go to different this, that. Just and there's no damage to the body or anything like that. There's good career, good money, all that. Everything is good. So that is the highest level of material enjoyment, materialistic life. So what's wrong with that? So again, I'm not using the word wrong at all. This is a possible life. And then what will happen? The body will become old and one will die. And then what will happen, according to our sages, based on all of the Shubh karma and the desires that have been accumulated for living this type of life, several things may happen. If one is very ethical, does good work for others in this world, while living this type of life, the enhancement of material experience, without causing problems for oneself or another, then what is called punyam is accumulated. And one will wind up going into the Svargalokas. Possibly, or come back here again and wind up in higher quality experience only. That is not moksha. That is what will happen. Now, individuals who are not accumulating punya, they are just running in different experiences, trying to enhance them, but they're not doing anything for the benefit of others that will accumulate what we call the good sanskaras, the good qualities that will accumulate punya. Because that's all stored. When we do good things for the world, good things for our family, good things for others, that is called punya. And that is accumulating inside as a bank account. If we don't do any of that, or minimal is done, and just the worldly stuff and just egocentric type of activity, even without harming anybody, then the impact will not wind up into the Svargaloka. One will probably wind up back into this same place again, with some parents again, just picking up where they left off with the experiences, becoming a child again, learning again, and starting the whole process all again, trying to re-experience all of those old experiences from the past lives. As a child again, it has to restart everything right from beginning because of all the vasanas from the past. And then all the pain and suffering that comes from childbirth and everything else in life, sukh dukh kadwan, and then one is again caught within the sansar. Now take another example. An individual who is not doing any punya, who is running after the vishayas, and is running after them to the point where there is a demand for enhanced experience, more and more and more. It is like vasana that has taken even greater levels. Sexuality, pornography, running after position, power, whatever, running after the rajasic experiences, sometimes even with food, just crazy about different kinds of foods and this and that and whatnot. What will happen to that individual? But they will not wind up in Svarga. Mukti is not even possible for that individual. I mean, it's possible, but it's unlikely. Something extraordinary would have to happen. Even if the vasanas are very strong, even getting a human body is unlikely. One will become a dog, a cat, an insect, so other lower life forms. Crocodile. Think about this. Is that what we want? We want to become these birds. Look at their lives. We say, oh, how about a beautiful bird? Look at their actual life. What do these animals, what are they doing? They're constantly searching for food. It's a punishment, basically. It's kind of like a punishment, that life. They're constantly searching for food. If they find the food, whatever they find, they eat that. Then they get some rest somewhere. Then they mate. And they're again searching for food. This is, the Jivatma gets that body. Is that not a massive punishment? What is that? Look at all the species. These leaf cutter ants. Have you ever seen them? They will go, they can travel up to 1 mile, cut a leaf. This is the programming inside the Mahamaya. Because the Jivatma has done that kind of sanskar, goes into the body of a leaf cutter ant, some other ant, and has to be punished that way, literally. I'm using the word punishment, but it's not. God doesn't punish anybody. That is the consciousness of the jiva, the psychological consciousness, has degraded to the consciousness of an ant, to the consciousness of a frog, to the consciousness of a monkey, to the consciousness of a crocodile, to consciousness of a tree. My God, if we look at what the sages have discovered, and when we recognize that this actually is going on, one would not waste 1 second doing anything to wind up in the lower species. Because the more we go into the hyper stimulation of the brain to pursue higher experience, more of the Kundalini Shakti is damaged, and it goes below the Muladhara Chakra and into the lower species, and then the consciousness goes in that direction. My goodness, it is really something to really get this purview. This question of vasana and desires and mind, this is the thing to understand in life. And we're opening it up carefully, slowly. Life is for enjoyment, but not that kind of enjoyment that is going to damage oneself lifetime after lifetime after lifetime and get trapped inside what is called 84 lakh, the 84 million species is called 84 lakh janma maran ka chakkar. No. And that is the idea of living each day. And when you come to the end of each day, all Shubh Karma and all Ashubh Karma, pull it all together in meditation and put it inside the Atma Brahma Agni. That I am the non-doer, I am the Brahman, I am the Atman. I haven't done anything. Who is me to do something? There's no I that is doing anything. Yes, the body has eaten, everything is there, experiences are there. There's no me that is in any which way lost in those experiences. It's there. I have a beautiful salad. There is enjoyment, not that I am enjoying, that the me gets hold. No, there is just enjoyment. That enjoyment will be for some time, it will go. That's all. Then that's true for any experience. Then even if you watch something on Netflix or this or that, fine, it's there. You see it for what it is, it drops away. It doesn't come inside. You see it, but it doesn't have the sanskara. That is called a liberated state of interaction. Bhagavad Gita teaches this, that raga dvesha viyuktaistu vishayanindriyaischaran atma vaishera vidayatma prasadam vadikachati. Without raga and dvesha, interact with the objects of the world. Then you are freely interacting. Beautifully interacting. Okay, so we'll stop here for today. We'll continue tomorrow along the same lines, and we'll go further into this as we move along.